It's super crispy, and just take a look at how absolutely delicious this looks. I'm sure you're going to love it. Here is some cooked Japanese rice, and here I have about 100 grams, and we're going to add a teaspoon of Parmesan. Now salt to taste. Mix it. I think you've never seen this recipe, right? It's because my son really likes cheese, Parmesan, and mozzarella too. And he absolutely loves an onigiri. I always make this special little mixture for him. The Parmesan cheese gives it a flavor that's very light and makes it a little salty too, right? Now let's put it inside the mold. Make a little hole in the center and get everything ready for the next step. Right here in the middle, go ahead and spread out the sides, because we're going to fill it up and stuff it with plenty of mozzarella cheese. Are you ready? Okay, now let's add in that mozzarella, making sure it's packed in there nicely. You can add to taste, but don't put too much so that you can still close it afterwards, right? And now, go ahead and fill it up with rice. It is really very easy and quick to do, with absolutely no complications. Now, just place the cover on top and give it a firm press down to set everything in place. Now, we'll take a little bit of flour. Let's carefully coat our onigiri, making sure to coat all of the edges and all the sides thoroughly. Now, just give it a little tap and remove the excess. Next, take one egg, crack it, and beat it really well right here. This is the second step, and you're doing it just right. To properly bread the onigiri, we are going to carefully coat it on every side to ensure complete coverage. Next, we gently press it into our famous, extra crispy panko breadcrumbs. This technique is essential because it guarantees that every bite you take has that perfect, satisfying crunch while keeping the inside incredibly tender. But you can also use some fresh bread pulsed in a blender, which actually works really well too. Let's spread it all out evenly and coat it thoroughly. Thoroughly coat the entire surface of the onigiri, and just look at how beautiful and appetizing it looks now. And now it is finally time to begin the frying process. Just make sure the oil in the pan is nice and hot before you start. Go ahead and carefully place it into the hot oil to fry, and we'll keep a close eye on it, turning it over until it reaches that perfect, beautiful shade of golden brown. Once it's cooked through and looks just right, we can take it out of the pan, leaving it perfectly nice and crispy, just the way we want it. And just take a moment to look at how absolutely delicious that is. Now, I have here a little bit of crispy pork rinds, and what I'm going to do is place them inside a bag, seal it up, and then give them just a light, gentle tap to break them down. Go ahead and just give it a nice, gentle little crush until it's broken down. There we go. That looks perfect. Now, you'll want to take about 100 grams of freshly cooked Japanese rice, then add in those crispy pork rinds you prepared, and finally, sprinkle in a generous little bit of your favorite cheese of choice to really bring all those delicious flavors together. Start by adding a teaspoon of cream cheese, then sprinkle in a little bit of fresh parsley, and finally, add just a little bit of salt to taste. Now, mix everything together really well until it is perfectly combined. And that's perfect. Now, carefully shape the mixture into our signature triangle. Keep the heat nice and low so it cooks evenly. Next, take your brush and apply a light coating of soy sauce across the surface. Once it's ready, give it a gentle flip, and then brush the other side with that same savory soy sauce for a delicious golden glaze. And now, just let it brown nicely in the pan. Once it has that perfect golden crust, go ahead and flip it over. It really needs to look just like this, and then we can take it off the heat. Honestly, this onigiri is so incredibly delicious that it is genuinely hard to stop after eating just one. And here we'll start with about 200 grams of cooked Japanese rice, you can calculate 100 grams for each rice ball. And here, I'm going to add a tablespoon of soy sauce. This is regular soy sauce, but you can use a light version if you prefer. Next, I'll stir in half a teaspoon of mirin and half a teaspoon of fish dashi. Finally, add mozzarella cheese to taste. Feel free to add plenty. Now, go ahead and mix it all together, making sure you mix it really well. Yes, this is looking perfect. Now, add just a little bit of water, and let's wet our hands just a bit before we continue. Go ahead and arrange the rice right here, then divide it into 2 portions. Now, let's make our rice ball, shaping it into that classic triangle form. It is quite easy, just keep gently pressing and shaping the rice with your hands, turning it over as you go, until it holds its shape and becomes a perfect triangle. Just like this. Let's do one more. Set your burner to medium-low heat and give it a moment to warm up. Once it's ready, go ahead and drizzle in a small amount of toasted sesame oil. Go ahead and spread the mixture evenly around the pan, then carefully place each onigiri down. Let them sit undisturbed to develop a nice golden brown crust. Once ready, take your time and carefully flip each one over to cook the other side to perfection. And here, you have the option to just brown the 2 main sides if you prefer, but I personally find that I really like to brown every single side of the meat. I make sure to keep flipping it over as I go, which is actually quite easy to do. By taking the time to rotate it and ensure that every surface gets a nice sear, you are really locking in all those delicious flavors. This particular onigiri is one of my absolute favorites, and it really comes down to that incredible, savory flavor profile that hits the spot every time. It is so delicious that I find myself reaching for it constantly, so now, let's just take the wrapper off and get into it. This is truly a perfect onigiri for your quick snack or even to pack for lunch, and just look at how absolutely delicious it is. Start with some freshly cooked Japanese rice, nice and hot. Add a little bit of savory soy sauce, a splash of toasted sesame oil, and then mix it all together really well. Start by laying out a sheet of plastic wrap. Take a portion of our cooked rice, place it in the center, and spread it out towards the sides to create an even layer. Next, add a slice of cheese, followed by a layer of ham, and top it with another piece of cheese for a delicious ham and cheese filling. Go ahead and cover the filling completely with the rest of the rice, then carefully gather the edges of the plastic wrap to close it up. Once sealed, you can begin to shape it into your preferred form, whether you want a classic round ball or a neat triangular shape. Now, gently take it out of the plastic and finish shaping it with your hands. Just keep working it like this, pressing it firmly but gently, and continue shaping until it is perfectly formed and holds together. Go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of cornstarch over the surface, then flip it over to do the same thing on the other side. Once that is done, you can add a little bit of butter to the pan to get everything ready for the next step. First, place our onigiri into the pan and just flip it over carefully. Now, look at that, we have an onigiri that is perfectly crispy and golden on the outside, while remaining wonderfully soft on the inside. For the filling, take your tuna, add a nice dollop of mayonnaise from whatever brand you like, and sprinkle in about half a teaspoon of powdered fish dashi for that extra depth of flavor. Finally, just mix everything up thoroughly until it is well combined and ready to go. And now, we are going to take a sheet of nori and carefully cut it into a triangle shape. As you do this, just be sure to keep the shiny side facing outward, as that glossy finish is what gives the final presentation a professional and appetizing look. Start by laying down a base of rice, then spread half of your tuna over it. Next, add another layer of rice to cover the tuna completely. Place a slice of cheese on top, and repeat this exact same layering process on the other side to ensure everything is perfectly balanced. Now, take this edge and carefully fold it over toward the center line, making sure the crease is nice and sharp. Then, go ahead and do the exact same thing with the other side, bringing it in to meet the first fold. Once you have both sides tucked in neatly, you will see that it creates this specific shape. Now, we are going to add the rest of our fresh tuna into the mix, and I can absolutely guarantee you that once it is all cooked through, it is going to turn out delicious.